Hello and welcome to another episode of This Week in the Tech News. And the last week, tech news has been a bit like a bad case of diarrhea. It just keeps flowing from everywhere. And today I'm going to start off with, well, the obvious news, which is the release of the new Titan V. This is a really exciting release. Except, well, I mean, if you're a gamer, it's pretty much irrelevant because none of us are going to buy a $3,000 deep learning card. But it's still exciting that Volta has been released on a platform that isn't just aimed directly at the server market. So, you know, it's not going to affect us unless you want to build Skynet or whatever. Skynet has become a really kind of like common theme in these videos lately, but it's because we're getting so close. But anyway, Titan V has seen some 30% improvements apparently around there compared to Titan XP, and I think it's the Titan X little p, or is it the big P? I don't know which one's the newer one, but anyway, the latest Pascal Titan card. It's about 30% faster. So this is quite an exciting thing because it means that actual gaming-based Volta cards might be that much faster than Pascal cards, which is quite a lot, to be honest. But I mean, it does have 5,120 CUDA cores in it, which is like that much. It's a lot. Anyway, and then in other news, which is more directly gamer related and is super exciting, but is probably not true, but there has been some leaks of Ryzen kind of 2 generation, Zen 2, the next generation of Ryzen CPUs, let's just call it that, and the leaks are really impressive. So the high-end one is called the 2800X, which is a 12-core, 24-thread CPU that boosts up to 5.2 gigahertz. That's terrifying. It has a higher boost clock than a 7700K, which is like the single core CPU king. And then it's got just like 11 more cores than just the one. So it's super powerful, or potentially will be. Although the thing is, this is not the most reliable source or leak. I mean, it's probably not going to be true because getting 12 cores to boost to 5-point-something gigahertz is really impressive. And then there's going to be the 2800, which is the replacement of the 1700X, which is also really epic. And then the 2700X, I think it's the 2700X, is going to be like a 10-core part with 20 threads and also boosts up to like 5-point-something gigahertz. That's going to be hugely exciting if it is the form in which it's released. And then, right after that, we're like still reeling at the potential news of a 5 gigahertz Ryzen CPU. We hear a leak from Threadripper, or 4 Threadripper, which is apparently going to be a 24-core, 48-thread CPU that boosts to 5-point-something gigahertz. That's insane! Because the response to everybody saying, oh, this leak is probably not going to happen, is because what's going to happen to Threadripper? Because there's going to be no reason to buy Threadripper if you have that kind of power in just the standard kind of Ryzen lineup. And then right after that, it's as though the leaker heard that and then decided to make up a new story to say that Threadripper is going to be a lot faster, to make the first story about a really fast Ryzen CPU being a lie more plausible. I don't know, this sounds a bit conspiracy theory-esque to me, but if these CPUs come out in this form, we're all going to be dancing and going to be burning effigies for AMD because of how amazing they're being. Okay, now there are a couple more stories that I'm going to have to rattle off quickly because, well, otherwise this video is going to get really long. Qualcomm has announced their 845 kind of phone CPU thing, and it's actually a huge improvement over the previous generation. It's apparently around 30% faster in combined workloads, so that's like CPU and GPU, and it charges a lot faster, it's a lot more efficient, and it has a whole laundry bucket list of new features, and we might be seeing it in the Galaxy S9, which might be coming out pretty much in the beginning of next year. And we've heard reports of it being, or I've heard, I don't know why I say we, like I have a team behind this terrible weekly like YouTube show, but yes, so I'm gonna link the story in the description so that you can read all of the features, and apparently the phone's gonna be the fastest charging phone in the history of the universe. Yay. And then PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds recently figured out that they accidentally released like vagina modeling in like their female characters, which they, according to them, they didn't realize that now inexplicably all the female characters had like camel toes. And they've apologized because they said that they kind of outsourced their vagina modeling to like a different company, and then when they got the file back, they didn't look at it for 2 years and then forgot that they asked for vagina modeling, or the people thought it would be funny to include it, and the next thing we knew, all the characters had camel toes. And apparently they're gonna fix it. And I actually very nearly forgot about this. I'm done with rattling off stories quickly because this is really important. So on the 14th of December, which is tomorrow, they're actually going to have the vote about net neutrality, right? So tomorrow we find out whether or not we're gonna have to pay like for DLCs on the internet or not. So if you are American and you're one of the 3 people that are watching and you have the access to a congressman or something, do let them know that by any means humanly possible they shouldn't let this vote go through, even though it might not make a big difference because money is the reason for it to be happening. But this is something that we have to unite over. Even though everybody, like, there was this trend where you see people posting comments on, "Oh, Linus Tech Tips, how dare you not say anything about net neutrality?" And then people like Paul's Hardware release a video on net neutrality and then just like no one watches it. And all of the content that everybody's been complaining about tech tubers not doing based around net neutrality, when it actually comes out, nobody watches it, nobody interacts with it. So I don't really understand why we're not being more outraged about this. Just remember, they're coming for your porn, so you need to burn their offices to the ground, and if that's what it takes to prevent this from going through, because it really shouldn't. At least I think it shouldn't. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this kind of weirdly disjointed episode of This Week in the Tech News. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And otherwise, you can leave in the comments below, you can talk about how, I don't know, my similes are labored and sometimes I ramble, and how I should get a haircut. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.